Hi everyone, I'm Hauck, and this is my presentation on my term project. So, for my term project, I decided to focus on something conservation related because in the future, I want to be a wildlife conservationist. Ever since I was a little kid, I've just had a deep passion for wildlife, and I thought that this project could give me some sort of insight into how conservationists educate the regular person on just wildlife and its importance. With that, I decided to create an educational brochure on gray wolves and their conservation. I went with gray wolves just because they're just one of my favorite animals, and I think they're a lot more important than many just tend to believe. So, as for the brochure part, I think that brochures are a good way to just consume information quickly while also being flashy, which is something that you want when trying to grab a reader's attention. And so I designed the brochure itself using Canva, and I think it turned out great. I have one printed right here with me. I decided to just print it in black and white because colored ink's expensive, and I even ran out of ink on this panel right here. But anyways, I'm going to go through all of these panels on this presentation here. So this is my cover panel, and I didn't really have much to say about this, but I felt it was important to go with an earthy yet vibrant color scheme to attract readers, and also I included a wolf picture, obviously, to just show off the topic. So this is my history panel, and for a little rundown, gray wolves have been in North America for a long time and could be found in most places in the U.S. up until settlers began to arrive. Those same settlers feared for both their livestock and their own lives to the point where many states actually established bounty systems for wolves to be exterminated. And as people began to settle further into what we know as the contiguous United States, wolves were just continually hunted and pushed out. And so by 1970, gray wolves were almost entirely extirpated from the contiguous United States, only being left to about 1,000 wolves in a tiny little range surrounding Lake Superior, as you can see in this first map right here, this tiny little blue and orange range. So then, in 1973, the United States actually introduced the Endangered Species Act, which helped to legally protect species on the threat of extinction, including the gray wolf. Since then, there have been numerous efforts to grow their numbers and reintroduce them back into suitable habitats throughout the lower 48, and today their numbers are much higher, and there are population ranges further out west, particularly in the Rocky Mountains, as you can see in this bottom map right here, all this green area, and there's still this range up here, and even some in the northeast. So, at this point, they're still endangered, and they face a few major threats. Firstly, many still believe they're a serious threat and wish to just keep them away, while some people just enjoy hunting in general, so we're still a direct threat to them. Wolves also primarily use forests as habitats, and the destruction of them have given wolves less space to thrive. And of course, as stated before, many consider them a major threat, and their listing on the endangered species list has varied throughout the years. And so, until we can agree to legally protect them permanently, their numbers are just going to continue to sway. As of today, there's about 7,000 gray wolves in the contiguous United States compared to the 1,000 in 1970, which is great. But despite that growth, it's not enough, and because many still want them gone, but they just provide a lot of benefits as predators. And they help keep prey populations in check, and one of the current issues we're facing right now, actually, is the overabundance of white-tailed deer. The issue with their population is that as their population grows, their demand for food increases, and that can cause overgrazing, which in itself can lead to drought and a loss of biodiversity. It also allows for disease to spread easier, but with gray wolves preying on sick individuals, a disease can be stopped from spreading. So, what do we do? Or what can we do? Well, we can do things such as supporting legislation that protects gray wolves, as well as organizations that actively plan and carry out reintroduction efforts. and we ourselves can practice coexistence practices such as safer methods of livestock protection and just not disturbing their habitat. I also included my references on the bottom here and also on the next slide. But in general, gray wolf conservation is really important, and I'm glad I got to make something that could be used to help educate people about gray wolf conservation. Thank you.